folks, Jim and Leila here for Geeking Out episode I don't know anymore. This is just going on
close to 200. Close to Free Comic Book Day.
Very close to Free Comic Book Day. We are actually picking our Free Comic Book Days books today.
Yep.
So, because we're going to probably review about 20 of them next week.
Yes.
So, be with us for that. It's going to kill us both.
It's a lot of reading, but you know, it's good.
But stick with us for that one because it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's right. Very informative. I like the Free Comic Book Day episode.
Oh, so do I. And even better is Free Comic Book Day itself.
Yes, absolutely.
When we'll have some guest people coming in and have a lot of fun.
Yes, yes. And make sure to, thank your local retailer because,
exactly.
Even though it's Free Comic Book Day, this is actually put on by your local retailers and the companies in a partnership to bring you stuff to read. And, a lot of the stores go through a big deal to bring stuff in. Like here, we're having Ken Lashley come here. So we're really excited about that.
And don't forget, I'll be here too.
And Jim will be here. We're going to cover some footage. Right? We'll get some footage.
We're going to have some live Free Comic Book Day stuff going on.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be awesome.
Join us and have lots of fun. But for now, let's get to some reviews, shall we?
All right. So first up, we've got Avengers vs. X-Men versus number 1 of 6. Okay. So basically, these are a bunch of brawls for it all, which take place during the events of Avengers vs. X-Men number 2. So in the first one, it's Invincible Iron Man versus Magneto. And you would think a guy in a suit of armor versus a guy that can control metal should be a short fight, right? Wrong. Because Tony's a genius. He's a genius, and he's going to be prepared for this and have stuff up his sleeve. So this was actually pretty good. And the next fight, we've got Thing versus Namor. And how will the Thing handle a fight against Namor on his own turf, the sea? You'd think, again, that this would go quickly, but also not true. Okay, so they admit right in the front page of this book that if you're looking for plot, you have to go elsewhere. This is a book that features all-out fights. And, for me, like I said, I liked the Iron Man, Magneto one, and it did have a bit of, quipping and story, and, it was all right. The other one was very, I don't know, uninspiring. It wasn't. And
it's been done to death before.
Yes, but here's my thing. This whole series is a bad idea to me because I like fight scenes. I like big splash pages. I don't need an entire book of just that. I like it when it's in the middle of a story and there is a story going on. For you to just say, there's not really plot in this, we're just going to do a bunch of fighting, is sort of insulting to me as a comic book reader. I don't know.
Yeah. And besides, why don't you put the fights in the middle of the damn books?
Well, this is the thing. Like, I guess all these fights are alluded to in the other series, Avengers vs. X-Men, but then they just leave to the actual playing out of them in each different... And there's going to be 6 different books of these. 6! I don't understand. I really, really don't. I don't know what the concept
I understand.
was. Yeah, well, I just don't like the concept. I don't like the idea. I think that we could have done this as part of the regular book, and it just been just as effective.
Yeah, it did not need to be its own series.
It didn't need to be its own series. That's just me.
If you want to have a fight, put it in the damn book. That's just my opinion.
Yes, but that being said, I did enjoy the Iron Man versus Magneto fight for what it's worth.
All right, next up, a book from last month that I was not able to get to due to Marvelous March, Legend of Oz, The Wicked West, number 3. And in this one, Dorothy and the girl known as Scarecrow continue their journey but find the wilderness more dangerous than expected with the Wicked Witch after them and Dorothy's ruby spears.
Yeah, I will say I like the art in this book.
This book is simply gorgeous to look at. The story is a lot of fun.
There's lots of Oz books to choose from right now.
There's tons of Oz books. This is the only one that happens in the Wild West, though.
Yeah, yes. So that's cool.
Yes, the story is a lot of fun. There is a lot of stuff going on. It is simply a fantastically great book that more people should be reading. So if you're an Oz fan, check this book out. It is a lot of fun.
Okay, next up we've got Star Wars Blood Ties. Boba Fett is dead. Number 1. Woo! Okay.
I wish they killed the entire Star Wars universe. It sucks.
What? Okay, well...
I hate Star Wars.
I know, you and I differ on this.
I've never liked Star Wars. It's just one of those things. Yeah, you lose geek cred over it.
Yeah,
but
you do.
Star Wars is terrible. Oy.
I don't know what to say, guys. It's him. All right, so here we go. So previously in Blood Ties, not in this series, Connor Freeman is the son of one of Jango Fett's clones, making him sort of a half-brother to Boba Fett. And when Connor was targeted by a crime boss for, not paying him the money he owed him, Boba saved his life and left him with enough credits to purchase his own business. Well, in this issue, Boba Fett turns up dead, and the entire galaxy is being notified by an unknown mastermind. So it spreads throughout the galaxy really quick, leaving Connor with sort of a feeling of grief and a little bit of debt to his half-brother. So he tries to find out who killed him and why, but then finds himself accused of murder, his business destroyed, and his life might be hanging in the balance.
Hooray!
I enjoyed this. The art style's really different, but I think I like it. I think I really like it, and the story really draws you in, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. I mean, this is an iconic character we're talking about, and it did leave me wanting more. Like, at the end, I was like, really? Like, what happens? So, successful, in my opinion.
Good.
If you like Star Wars, you're going to read this book. You're going to be like, wow, Boba Fett's dead? What's going on, right? So, pick it up if you're a fan of that. I can't say how much of interest it would be for a non-Star Wars reader, but I did enjoy it.
No interest for me, but
to
each their own for Star Wars fans.
But I did enjoy this, and I am a Star Wars fan, so for what it's worth, that's
and Leila's going to punch me in the face afterwards. So, next up, we have the Steampunk Sketchbook. And this one is by David Hutchison and is basically a preview, almost, book of sketches for his next book, Steamcraft, which comes out next month.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
And basically what happens is this sketchbook is preview to Dave's upcoming book, Steamcraft, and features character designs, creatures, vehicles, and goggles aplenty.
Okay.
Because, well, it's
steampunk.
You need goggles.
Yes.
But yeah, if you're looking forward to Steamcraft coming out next month, this is the perfect book to companion to it. It's a lot of really interesting designs and sketches, and if you're a steampunk fan, check it out. It's okay. It's not perfect. It's just a sketchbook, so there's really not much to it.
Yeah.
But the art by Dave is simply gorgeous, and you can't go wrong with that.
Okay, next up is a return to the classics. Popeye!
A blast from the past.
Yes, and I do enjoy the Ode to Action Comics cover.
Yep. I also like the paper stock that they use for the cover.
Yeah, it is different, right?
Yeah,
it's different.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, for those of you who want to know, like, the interior art it is like Popeye.
It is exactly like the King Features stuff from the Saturday and Sunday newspapers from long ago. It looks great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Looks like it's hand colored. It's hand lettered too, so it's beautiful.
It's brightly colored. It's just it's a really catchy book. I really okay. So but you want to know about the story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this one,
Popeye has a story.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Castor shares his latest get-rich scheme with Olive Oil, who enlists the help of her boyfriend Popeye. The plan: to find another Jeep like Eugene on a remote island, bring it home to breed him, and then sell the rare Jeep pups and get rich.
Jeep.
Yes. So on the way...
Jeep was the first Pokemon, by the way.
I would believe it. So on the way, they ran into Bluto, of course.
Of course.
Who is trying to get to the island as well, and then they run afoul of a powerful sea hag.
Damn, those sea hags are everywhere nowadays.
And Wimpy tags along as usual, and is hilarious. So I gotta say, this was really fun.
Leila, can I pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today?
Actually, in this one they don't. It's can I borrow a shirt today and give you a shirt tomorrow? But it's pretty good. So the Wimpy financial plan is referred to here. Awesome.
Yep.
Anyway, so this was really fun. I mean, it's great for all ages. Like we were saying, it's really true to the original source material. It's a fitting return for classic characters, and I think the people doing it really have an eye on keeping it for the fans of those original stuff, but also bringing it to a new generation, which I think is really cool. I'm glad they're doing it because, more books for young readers is good. Like, this is the gateway to sort of getting people into reading comics. Not everybody wants to read superhero stuff.
No.
And this is a good way to get people in, and a really well done book. So congratulations to everybody involved. I really enjoyed this.
All right. So that was a blast from the past. How about another blast from the past? We have Airboy #1 by Chuck Dixon, Gianluca Peretta, and Ben Dunn. And in this one, World War II may be over, but Airboy's work isn't done as Davy defeats a Japanese air ace on a remote island. After his defeat, Airboy visits him and lands into a conspiracy that could lead Japan into another war. Alright, so if you don't know your Airboy history...
That's okay.
That's okay, because this is the perfect introduction to the character if you've never read Airboy before. Now, basically, Airboy started way back in the 1940s.
That's right.
And then came back for quite a while in the 80s when Chuck Dixon took over for...
There's a long run of
for,
books, right?
I believe, Eclipse?
Yeah, I think it was.
I believe. Yeah. And even Ben Dunn drew a few issues back then as well. But this is the perfect introduction to this character for anyone who has never had a chance to read it, or even if you're a longtime fan, there's a little bit of catching up in this issue as well.
Yeah, they do like an insert on the inside, right?
Yeah.
About like the story so far, or backstory.
Basically, what's gone on before in his life. Yeah,
which is cool.
And as always, the art by Ben is fantastic. There's a few scenes that seem a little out of place, art style wise, but I think it's just because he was getting into his groove, getting back into a nice monthly book and everything.
Right.
But yeah, this is a fantastic looking book. The air battles are really nice to look at. Now, some people may complain that it's black and white, but F them. Black and white is great. It works really well here. I think black and white for an adventure title works fantastically well. But it's not going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
But I quite enjoyed it. It's definitely a lot of fun for anyone that's a fan of the classic character or someone looking for a really good World War II type story with really interesting characters. They're going to have a lot of fun with this one. Check it out. It is totally worth your money. All right. So we're going to get into a bit of news as well.
Yes.
This week, the Eisners were announced.
Yes.
The Eisner Nominations were announced.
Yes, not the winners. Just the nominees.
Just the nominees. So, we're going to go into the categories.
We're going to just hit a couple of the big ones, right?
Yeah. So we're going to... let's see what we can do here. Best Continuing Series, Daredevil, Naoki Urasawa's 20th Century Boys, Rachel Rising by Terry Moore, which I think should win, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And Ultimate Comics Spider-Man and Usagi Yojimbo, which is also a really good
I'm guessing this is the new Ultimate Comics Spider-Man,
yes.
With the new Spider-Man. So that's cool that they got nominated for that. And I mean, I like Daredevil. I'm glad that he's back in his own book. That Black Panther taking over his book thing was weird. But yeah, we've been a big fan of Rachel Rising.
Oh yeah, it's a great book. Great book.
So obviously we're soft.
Princeless got 2 nominations.
Yes.
For Best Publication for Kids and Best Single Issue.
Right, yes. So way to go, Princeless.
Best Anthology nominees include Dark Horse Presents, Nelson, Nursery Rhyme Comics, The Someday Funnies, and Yiddishiki, Jewish Vernacular, and The New Land.
Yes, which actually...
which has apparently been selling pretty well.
It sold pretty well, and I thought it looked pretty good. So now it's been nominated. I should really go back and take a look at that.
Best Writer. We have Colin Bunn, The Sixth Gun, Mike Carey, The Unwritten, Jeff Jensen, Green River Killer, Jeff Lemire, Animal Man, Flashpoint, Frankenstein,
Yes.
And
Mark Waid.
Mark Waid.
Yes.
For Best Writer/Artist, we have Rick Geary, The Lives of Sacco and Vanzetti, Terry Moore from Rachel Rising, Sarah Olesk from Ivy, Craig Thompson from Habibi, Jim Woodring from Congress of the Animals,
and The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Yeah.
It actually got like several nominations for Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
That's cool.
And Best Penciler Inker or Penciler Inker Team, Michael Allred.
Yeah, for Zombie. Yeah.
Ramon K. Perez, Chris Samney, Marcos Martin, Paol Rivera.
Yeah.
We have Best
for Daredevil. I think that might win.
Yeah.
That might win.
Those covers were gorgeous.
Yeah, they're great.
Best Cover Artist, Michael Allred from iZombie, Francesco Francavilla.
From Black Panther, really?
Yep. Victor Kalvachev.
From Blue Estate.
Yep.
Their covers are always cool and interesting.
Yeah. Marcos Martin from Daredevil. Sean Phillips and Yuko Shimizu from The Unwritten.
Wow, my heart's with Sean Phillips right there. Hello, criminal. So good.
And we didn't get nominated for Best Comics-Related Journalism.
What?
Boo!
Clearly an oversight.
Clearly. Apparently we don't have enough people voting for us. And that's about the big... Those are the big ones. And some other news to get into. There's an adaptation coming of Madeleine Engel's A Wrinkle in Time.
Yes.
Which is going to be drawn by Hope Larson.
Yeah.
From the previews I've seen, it looks absolutely gorgeous, and I simply adore that book. I loved it as a kid, and I'm going to definitely pick up the trade paperback, because when that movie came out a few years ago, it really... Now, as for exclusive news... Ninja High School is coming back, folks.
There you go. You heard it here.
You are the first to hear it. Ninja High School is returning later this fall. Ben is writing an all-new script with all new characters.
Oh, wow.
So I can't say much about it, but I do know
other than it's coming back, which is
it's coming back. I will be doing some backup stories probably, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it, because it'll be good to be back on a book that's so classic.
Yes. So just a reminder, Free Comic Book Day.
Join us next week for our Free Comic Book Day review show. We're going to pretty much kill ourselves by reading about 20 plus books.
Yes, and give you an idea of which ones you should be trying to get to first.
Yep. And because, well, a lot of them are going to go.
They're going to go.
Quick. There's even a hardcover.
Yeah, I know. That is so cool this year. So there's lots of good
we're
stuff.
going to leave you now and get to our choosing of what books we're going to review, and we will see you next week.